New Trump administration order pulling all workers for the United States Agency for International Development off the job and placing them on leave takes effect just before Friday night. Lawmakers and former officials joined a protest against the decision in Washington today. The Trump administration is looking to merge USAID with the State Department in an effort to combat what it says is wasteful spending. But Virginia's Democratic Senator Tim Kaine says it's politically motivated.
The Republicans are going to put a bill on the table. A bill on the table to give tax breaks to the wealthiest. Why are they wanting to shut down USAID? It's not that they really oppose the mission. They're grabbing money.
Let's bring in Matthew McGuire. He was a senior advisor at the Treasury Department and former U.S. executive director of the World Bank Group during the Obama administration. Matthew, thank you for being here. Who is going to be hurt the most when these workers are pulled from their jobs?
Well, America is going to be hurt the most. The thing that's really challenging about all this is that USAID is only one piece of our broader foreign policy agenda. And the challenge right here is that China, Russia, Hungary, authoritarian states, they don't do aid. So around the world, we're seen as being different and special because we do economic diplomacy, we do military efforts, and we also do aid. And so the fact that we have something different to offer the world is really important. What's striking about this is that for an administration that's really talking about how they're anti-China, it's amazing how much they are mimicking China's playbook. China is a very transactional entity that is always looking at Africa and other places just to build a port, just to do one-off deals here and there. The US is fundamentally different. And so what is really worrying here is that if we're just going to be like China and Russia, then we actually have no differentiation. And I would point one other thing here. Let's be clear about who Elon Musk is. Putin asked Elon Musk not to deploy Starlink over Taiwan as a favor to Xi Jinping. This has been widely reported in multiple media. So these are people who are not acting in America's interest, they're acting in their own interest, and we have to ask, what is America different by, and how do we think about the ways to counter China and not the ways to imitate China?
I know you bring up Elon Musk because he has been very vocal about his opposition to USAID and how it currently operates. But I want to ask you about the people who work for USAID, because I've seen some communications out of there saying you'll be on leave without pay. But is it really that simple? I spoke with a worker last night who had just arrived in Ethiopia. All of a sudden, her work was stopped. She's not getting paid. She doesn't have severance. She had to pay for her own way back, and she says she no longer has health insurance. So I don't know if this is a one-off, but do you have concerns about the individual employees and their means to support themselves?
Well, I'm hearing that, and I'm also hearing other things. I'm hearing that there are joint terrorism task force entities that have gone abroad to train and have been sent home. Think about that. You know who loves that? Terrorists love that. And China and Russia loves that, the fact that we're pulling back from training our allies on how to do terrorism interventions of various sorts. But the other thing to remember about USAID is that most of the money that is deployed through USAID is deployed to US contractors who then go and do that work. Those are Americans who are actually doing a lot of that work and putting that money in their pockets. So this is not just sending money abroad, it's actually keeping money here with US entities. The other group that are hurt the most, and I've talked to a few people in East Africa in particular, there are a lot of local staff there who actually look to America and are very proud that they work for the US and very proud that they're standing up for our way of seeing the world and that they're actually saving lives through PEPFAR and through these other things. I'm hearing that 40 kids a day will die without PEPFAR funding right now. So there's widespread damage that's being done. And my big question is, but why? This is not in America's interest. Let's think about what's in America's interest, and let's do a review if we need to. Secretary Rubio knows better. Let's do a review, but let's not just tell a plane that's flying across the Atlantic, we're yanking all your fuel and we don't care what happens. Let's let the plane land, let's do a review, and let's figure out what we can do to be more effective going forward.
Okay, Matthew McGuire, thank you for your time.